Hi friends, this is Sarvijay here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good. And today the topic I am going to discuss about how we can configure port forwarding in a Cisco ASA firewall. So port forwarding is useful whenever you are using a single public IP and we have a multiple internal IP address. And it is also used whenever the users on an external network want to access a particular IP on an internal network on a specific port, we can use a port forwarding. So let us take this example. Assume whenever users connect to this particular IP 2.1 on port 80, automatically it will be redirected to 1.2. Or if the user want to access this particular IP on 443, it can be redirected to 3.2. So this is just an example I'm telling how we can use a port forwarding. So that is the purpose of using port forwarding. And in this architecture, I have connected Cisco ASA firewall to Cisco switch 1 and switch 2, and switch 1 I'm going to configure in DMZ security zone, and another switch 2 I'm going to configure in the outside security zone. So today what we can do in this architecture, let us go to the Cisco ASA firewall and let us configure the both these interfaces and its associated security zone. And the second thing, I am going to create a port forwarding translation rule. Okay. And the third thing, I will be creating an access list for allowing from the lower to the higher security zone. So I'm going to initiate a web traffic from the external word to the internal network on port 80, that I'm going to create an access list in Cisco ASA firewall. So these are things I'm going to do. Now let us go to the configuration for a better understanding. So let us go to Cisco ASA firewall and let us quickly configure the DMZ and the outside interfaces. Interface gigabit 0 by 0 and the name IF is DMZ and the security level is 50. So we can assign the in the range of 1 to 99. So that's the reason I assign the security level of 50, and let us assign the IP addresses 192.168.1.1, 255.255.255.0, and let us do a no share. Similar way for outside, I need to assign the security level of 0. So by default taken a security level of 0 since it is less trusted, and the IP is 2.1. Okay. So let us go here, go to the configuration mode, interface gigabit 0 by 1, name IF outside. Okay. It already assigned a security level of 0 which is less trusted, and the IP address 192.168.2.1, 255.255.255.0, and let us do a no share. So now let us view the running configuration what we have created. You have created the, so the DM set security level 50 and the IP is 1.1 and the outside is 2.1, and always we know traffic flows from the higher to the lower security. So prior to the access list, now we'll create a port forwarding route, right? So go to the configuration and let us create the port forwarding route. Go to the configuration mode and the command is object, okay, object and network. Let us name it as web server and let us give the host IP, that's the internal IP 192.168.1.2. Now let us create the port forwarding route. The what's the command is nat DMZ to outside, right? So that's the thing we have created from DMZ to outside. So nat DMZ comma outside. Then we have to create static interface, okay, and the service TCP port 80. So we are going to do a translation for port 80 in such a way that whenever external user connect to this particular IP on port 80, it will automatically redirect to this particular 1.2. Okay, that's the purpose of this port forwarding. So static interface service I'm giving TCP 80 and the 80. So there are mapped and the real port we have to give. Then let us save the configuration. Okay, so we have configured the DMZ and the outside interfaces and the security zone, and we have configured the port forwarding rule. Now the third thing is I have to create the access list, because traffic always flows from the higher to the lower. So for allowing the traffic from the outside to the inside security zone or to the DMZ security zone on port 80, I have to I have to create an access list on port 80, right, from the outside to the DMZ. So let us create that access list. So the access list out underscore DMZ, outside to DMZ, permit TCP, okay, and the source is any and the destination. So destination host is 192.168.1.2, that's internal host, and the equivalent protocol is 80, that is web port. Now let us apply this via access group statement. Okay, access group out underscore DMZ in interface outside. Okay, so thus I'm just applying via access group statement. This is for allowing from the outside external to an internal or a DMZ network. And now let us save the configuration. So we have done with the configuration on ASA firewall. Now let us view this running configuration on switch 1 and switch 2. Let us go to switch 1. So this is a configuration I created 1.2, and the gateway already done, it is 1.1, and also disable the IP routing. Similar thing for Cisco 2, the IP is 2.2 and the gateway is 2.1. Now let us initiate the telnet traffic on port 80 to this particular IP. Okay, so let us go to Cisco 2 and let us do a telnet traffic. So telnet 192.168. So telnet 192.168.2.1 on port 80. Okay, so I'm just doing continuous thing. So now let us see the access list. So now you can see the access list count will be increasing. That means it is initiating a traffic from an outside to an internal host, right? So let us go to ASA firewall and let us do a show access list. So you can see the hit count is increasing, right? So how we can see the NAT translation thing is show NAT detail. So this is a, it will show the NAT what we have configured. So we can see the hits also, translator hits also. So it is from DMZ to outside, so static web server interface, and we are connecting on port 8080. So one is a real and another one is a mapped port on 80. So that's the thing, I'm initiating a traffic from switch 2, right, to the internal on this particular port 80, right? So that is the purpose of port forwarding. So now you can understand how the port forwarding works. So port forwarding is useful whenever the user access this particular IP on a specific port, it will be automatically redirected to that internal IP. So I can also, it is useful whenever we have a single public IP and we have a multiple internal IP. So what are the things we have done is we have configured the interfaces and the security zone. Then we have configured the port forwarding rule. Then third thing, we have allowed with the access list from the lower to the higher security zone on a specific port 80, right? So I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Thanks and have a wonderful day. Thank you.